So nice to meet you. Julia, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I hear you have a very international background.
Yes, sure. So, a bit about me. So, I grew up in Japan and then in Hong Kong, and then I studied in France for 5 years. And after my studies, I decided to embark on the HPC project. So, now it's been 2 years and a half here as a plant layout engineer with EDF, and I really love my job. It's a really exciting project.
How was growing up in Japan?
It was really, really, really nice. I'm kind of nostalgic because it's a very safe environment, extraordinary culture, and obviously very, very different from Europe. So,
How old
yes,
were you when you left Japan?
I was 11, so it was just before Fukushima, actually.
Yeah.
It was very, we obviously didn't have any problems, but during Fukushima, we had some friends come over to Hong Kong because it was not so far. Their
Yes.
school was closed, so it was very.
So was that your first kind of experience of nuclear, the Fukushima?
Kind of, but everyone would speak wrongly about nuclear at that time because it was such a huge catastrophe. Obviously, it was a huge catastrophe due to the tsunami, and there was also a lot of seismic events all around in Japan. So I think it's the period that was a bit blur for me. I didn't understand everything, and I think yes, at my age, you don't realize what is due to nuclear, what is not.
So fast forward, you decide to go to uni. How did you decide to get into nuclear?
So at first, no, I didn't know about nuclear at all, apart from this Fukushima episode.
Right.
It really went very back in my mind. But during high school, I had some researchers come at school to tell us about their jobs. When I was in Hong Kong, it was a very business marketing kind of environment. So we didn't really have some role models in terms of science apart from our teachers. So those researchers came, and their mission was to do a collection of planktons all around the world on a sailing boat. And I loved sailing, so I was like, I really want to do their job. So and their work was linked to climate change, obviously, because they would evaluate the impact of climate change on the planktons.
Right.
So this inspired me, and then it went progressively. So that's how I went to engineering. In French, we have a 2 year kind of college to prepare for ranking exams. At the end of these 2 years, you select a school, or well, the school selects you because it's based on your rank
Yes.
anyways. And I ended up in a school I didn't really choose at the beginning because I was into boats, really.
Right.
And this school was,
Is it
uh,
Grenoble? Did I
yes,
remember? So far from the
exactly,
sea, you were up on the
very
mountain,
far.
so from sailing to skiing.
Yeah, not the same at all. It was very, yeah, it was a last minute change in my decision as well. And I ended up in Grenoble, so it was a pure random. But in the end, the school had very big values. So when I went to their websites, I said, oh, this school might be to match with my values about climate change because it was a school that was all about energy, electricity. It used to be two different schools, one for barges, no, not barges, dams,
Mm-hmm.
to build dams, and the other one electricity production. So the two
Wow.
merged, and they created this new school 30
Amazing.
years ago, and they had different specialities with nuclear. So nuclear was a program, a 2 year program. So I did my 2 years of preparation, then 1 year a bit general in the school, and then at the end of the first year you have to choose a specialty. So you do introduction courses, and I picked nuclear because I was a bit curious about it. And after the first lesson, I was like, why am I hesitating? This is
You're hooked. You were
yeah,
hooked.
I was completely hooked because my teachers were very passionate about it. Grenoble is a very nuclear technical hub. They have, I think,
Didn't know
two,
that.
yes, two nuclear installations. One is for it's an particle accelerator, like for
Right.
all kinds of
Yes.
experiences. And then you have a lot of labs. You have public and kind of private labs. You have many researchers from all around the world, so it's quite amazing. And you have also from manufacturer not so far, so it's really a nuclear place. So obviously we had a lot of opportunities to meet with people who were from the sector, who did lectures for us from EDF, from Atom, from one of my teachers was working also in Westinghouse before, so it was very diverse. We had a lot of diverse topics from managing a power plant, a bit of theory with the fluid mechanics, physics, nuclear and physics, reactor physics, mechanical, and yeah, safety, and also a bit of geopolitics as well. So that was
Wow. So
completely complete, very,
completely complete. That's
yes,
a
very rich.
fantastic term. And you were in the hotbed of nuclear in France. And then
Yes,
you got into EDF. EDF is your first job. How
yes.
did you get in? I heard there was a scholarship involved.
Yes, so I did my end of studies internship, so it's 6 months usually in France at the end of the engineering school. I went to Marseille to do a safety internship. It was a very good life. I went to the beach
By
every,
the sea, finally you were
yeah,
by the sea.
it
Passion
was
for
really,
sailing.
exactly. So that was a very nice time with sun and everything. And so my job was about safety, so it was quite theoretical. I had to do safety analysis on the PWR French fleet. And I really wanted to get in a new adventure. And my idea was to do what we call in France a VIE, Volontariat International en Entreprise, means
Yeah, I just
um,
understood the one word voluntary.
yeah. So it kind of well, it was created along several decades ago to serve as an alternative of the military service. So you would do 1 or 2 years placement in an embassy or in a French company abroad. So that's the idea of the program. So it's destined to people who are, I think, from Europe. I don't think it's only French people until you're 29. So you have until you're 29 to do this program, and you can be sent anywhere in the world, basically. And you're paid by the government. So it's not really a salary. It's like a indemnity. So VIE placement in nuclear, you would imagine, I was like, I can't do both. I can't do international and nuclear.
Right.
There were not so many opportunities at the time, but the year I graduated, basically, after COVID, it came out again. So there were opportunities in the UK. That's the only opportunity in nuclear that was very concrete, because also I wanted something that would be on site.
Yeah.
And so I just jumped into it, and it's the best decision I made, I think.
That's a great story. So, what are your perceptions? It's been 2.5 years of working on site.
Yes,
Is it Hinkley Point C?
yes, Hinkley Point C. So I work on site for EDF in the kind of technical team, technical support team to construction. So we help construction of the EPR, which is obviously a very complex design with many interfaces. We help them to build it right and to do some repairs if needed to allow installation of the equipment, etc. So it's obviously a extremely interesting job because you learn about all the power plant, how it works, by being kind of in the, I would say in French, les entrailles, it means inside the body of the power plant.
Yes,
So
you're right
when
inside. Inside.
right inside, yeah, so you see everything and you imagine what will it be in 10 years time. So it's kind of fascinating in that way because you're building something that is going to last probably 8 years, and around that there is a huge organization. The HPC organization is the science itself.
It's a city in itself,
Yeah,
isn't it?
we are 14,000 on site
Yeah.
on a 24 cycle. So many people on site from many diverse backgrounds and many services you wouldn't suspect there would be, but they're there, like a lot of job opportunities, a lot
It's
of
an iconic
companies.
project. It's
Yes.
the only one that's being built currently, I think, in Europe. Do you have a favorite memory? A day that you really were like, wow, it was a really memorable day for you in the past 2.5 years. Like a favorite part
Favorite
when you
moments.
wanna every moment.
So I obviously the other mind when we lift the dome or when we
Right.
introduce the
Yeah, I think
RPG.
I watched the video where the dome was.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's
Yeah,
really
those videos are
impressive.
amazing for media.
But I would say the most memorable parts of it's not really linked to work specifically, but my manager at the time, he wanted some of the women in my team to participate to an award that is held in France every year to celebrate women in nuclear, this award is called Femme Energia. So you can go for it as a team. And what he did, he asked me and another colleague to build a team around what we do as a technical support team. So we were 11, and we built um, we built an application all together, the 11 members, as a football team
Oh, that's 11.
for our
That's why
team.
11. That's incredible. What a fun
Yeah,
project.
it was a really fun project because it was a team building thing. We don't really have time to do that kind of thing on site
Because
because
you have full-time jobs.
yeah, full-time jobs, and also it's very, you have the pressure from concrete pours or project milestones or whatever. So you never get the time to know a bit more about your colleagues. And I was surrounded by so many women that were like had so many different stories. So it was amazing to learn about their stories, to be mentored by them. I got much closer to them as well, and I think contributed to a better also atmosphere between us. So yeah, that was a good memory, I would say, around the first half of my adventure here in HPC.
Was thinking, you already mentioned quite a few people quite a few names that helped you along and inspired you. And in these interviews, we always ask for shout outs to people who really had a big impact in your career.
Yeah, I mean, the management here in my team, it's really amazing. Yes, I would say that my first manager, Romain Lacombe, really inspired me even from the interview. It was a really nice interview. Knew how to handle difficult situations, and he was always very calm, which is like, yeah, really amazing. Then my second manager was completely different, but in a way he inspired me as well because he was very pedagogical. He took the time to explain things, and he would stay long minutes to explain technical things, and so you feel the passion in these moments. You really feel his passion for nuclear. And now I have another manager who is a woman, and yeah, she's really amazing, Roberta. She was part of the team, and
11.
yeah, the 11, and also my other colleague Morgan. Well, both of them
Yes.
are like my kind of managing me, and they are both amazing, very knowledgeable, and very strong personalities as well. As a woman on site, you need to be technically very, very robust. I would say maybe much more than men, because men have bigger voice. So I tend to struggle sometimes with that. But the two examples I spoke about, they never let it go, continue, but being at the same time calm and understanding as well. And they have the great balance.
It's all about role models, isn't it? What you see ahead of you
Yes.
that inspires you. That's very encouraging, and it sounds like you're very lucky to have had so many good people on your side and cheering you on. I was wondering, when you tell your friends or people that you meet that you work in nuclear, you must get a mixed bag of reactions. And I wanted to know, how can the nuclear industry improve its public opinion? In your opinion, what could be done?
Well, I would say that a lot of structures exist now. Women in Nuclear was created in France, I think, at first by women working in nuclear to kind of act as an opposition against the stereotype that women would be against nuclear. I think that's how it was created after Chernobyl. So I think the perception of nuclear, first you perceive something when someone tells you about it, you get influenced by people, obviously. And if you see I don't know, people who look demoniac, you wouldn't, or, scary, or it's all about the soft skills, I would say. We have, as professionals, nuclear professionals, we have to give a good image of nuclear. We have to be convincing. We have to, I don't know, there are so many bad stories about it in the films that you would relate to those films instead of like, oh, wait a minute, these are real people working. They are not demoniac at all, like in the movies. You see what I mean?
Yeah, completely. I
I think
mean, it's only recently that we had the Oppenheimer, although that's not about nuclear power plants, it's about nuclear. There's a lot of misinformation out there. What do you say to those people who come to you, oh, nuclear is this, nuclear is that?
I let them talk. I let them talk, and if they have any questions, I reply. That's my strategy. So I just say I work on a construction site, and then one of my friends say, "Oh, but it's a nuclear construction site," and usually they're like, oh, "Wow, that's so cool." So I don't really get the issue
It's
anymore.
negative.
But yeah, when I first told my friends, "Oh, I'm so mad about nuclear, it's amazing," they were like, "Are you sure? No, no, no." And they would doubt because they were afraid that this was not a really good time for nuclear. And in the end, I really surfed on the wave. We were 15 in my class at the time in masters. It's nothing. Only two girls. It was really nothing. And the year after, people like basically fought to go into this class. So I think it's just how to seize the opportunities and kind of
Yeah.
flairer in French,
Follow your nose.
sense, yeah, have a good nose for the things that are, I mean, logically, when you state the facts about nuclear, I wouldn't have hesitated. I
Yeah.
didn't hesitate.
I totally agree with you. I think there's never been a better time to be in nuclear, and you're completely surfing the wave. In fact, 2 days ago, we had 3 days ago, no, not three, last Friday, let me rephrase, it's been a week, our company event, and we were saying, this is a wave. This is our wave, nuclear's wave, and it's a complete renaissance, a nuclear renaissance. Are your predictions for the future of nuclear? Like
It's
5 years, 10 years, where is nuclear going in your view?
I really don't know. Also, I'm very EDF focused as well. No, but I know that in France they are announcing a lot of partnerships, support for startups, and I think that innovation is going to be amazing in those in the following years. After there is regulation issues and stuff, but the main thing is to restart thinking about different concepts. It's interesting because at networking events you meet people who work from different companies now. I guess that 20 years before you didn't really have that, except maybe for researchers. But this is all very enriching, people with different visions, going international as well. So I know that Macron announced maybe 1 or 2 days ago that he would do a partnership with India. That means a lot of opportunities abroad as well. Initially, I was interested to work in developing countries. It would be a dream for me to go abroad again. Well, I'm in the UK obviously, but it's
More
I mean
far afield.
yes, I mean it's not that it's not exotic. On the contrary, it's very exotic for me. But I mean going to other countries would be definitely the dream for me. We'll see. But I think it's a bright future for nuclear. So
Well,
it's great.
fingers crossed for exciting projects for you. I have two more questions for you. The first question is for people who might consider or who do consider currently, who want to go into nuclear. For people who are like you, who have studied related subjects, engineering subjects, or people who have not studied nuclear related subjects, what are your tips for getting into nuclear? Is there a tip? Is there a secret to getting into nuclear? Because you've been very passionate about nuclear all along,
Yes,
so you were very targeted. Not maybe
yes.
you have come across people who fell into it, or if or is it about just having it on your radar?
No, I think that well, nuclear can be also seen as an industry like another. I know that people work in consultancy or they just change a company. They go from oil and gas to nuclear. We have a lot of colleagues who do that. Oil and gas is very valuable experience for HPC. So if you come from there, it's really needed here. But I would say that going to networking events, or maybe go into associations like Women in Nuclear Young Generation. For example, we support all each other. It's not only for women, despite of the name. We work for equality between men and women in the sector, but we are open to also young men. And young also means doesn't really mean anything, but it's just to say
Under 60.
yeah, whatever. Mostly junior, like it's more like the actions we do is kind of inspire young girls or help with interviews or CVs and stuff like that. We really support each other with that, and we get a lot of girls in Africa coming from medical. Who want to go into more energy sector. So I think if you want to join the association, it also can help if you want to have some advice. We have, obviously, if you network, a lot of girls who work in different companies, different sectors.
That's
So
a
yeah.
fantastic tip. I love that.
And we
Thank
are
you for
open
that.
also nuclear. I mean, it's not only about nuclear energy, nuclear physics. It's also mechanical. It's also project management. It's also human resources, or I mean, policy as well. Like everything is important. So we need all the skills, manual skills as well. Welders, steel fixers, whatever. We
Of
need
course.
everyone.
Yeah, of course, you're on a construction site after all. You
Mhm.
need the welders as well as the joiners.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. These are great tips. Thank you very much. So my last question, Juliet, is about if you had a magic wand, imagine you have a magic wand, what would you change about nuclear?
About nuclear, about its issue, like for example the nuclear waste, which is not really a big issue for me because you at least you can capture the waste, so I wouldn't really use it for that. But maybe build everywhere around the world because they everyone needs it. It's fantastic source of energy. I know that people are afraid with wars and stability and stuff. Obviously, you need stability. So in the end, with the magic wand, you would.
You will need to worry about that.
Yeah. I guess energy for all is the most important.
That's a great answer. So you will build more nuclear power plants with your magic
Yes.
wand, and that's a wonderful use of your magic wand. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very, very much, Judith. It's been an incredible pleasure talking to you and having you as our guest in our session here. So thank you very much,
Thank you so
Juliet.
much,
Thank you
Sibel.
very much for your time.